On this episode of the Dr. Tyna Show, I'm sitting down with my good friend, Andy Hnilo. Andy is the founder and formulator of Alitura Naturals. His backstory on how this skincare line came to be blew me away when I met him last year at an event in Arizona. He was so impassioned when he spoke about formulation, the creative process, the specific and very special ingredients that he uses, and he finds them all through his travels all over the world. I was so enthralled. I reached out to him and asked him to send me some skincare last spring, and I've been using it ever since. And I'll be honest with you, I am not a skincare girl. I've never really been into using skincare. I've never used anything religiously. I've never stuck to a skincare plan, and I am floored. I absolutely love these products. Each one of them is unique and special. They are very much the creative process and genius that comes out of Andy. We also talked about strength training, nutrition, exercise, work ethic, and so much more. I think you'll find this episode fun and interesting and a little bit different from the normal. It was a great treat to sit down with my friend and just chat, and I hope you enjoy the show. Let's jump in. Andy Hnilo, welcome to the Dr. Tyna Show. I am so glad to finally get you on here. You and I met, gosh, like a year and a half ago in Arizona, and I have been using your skincare for the past several months, Alitura, which I am loving. And I'm so happy to get you on the show to talk about this. So would you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, well, Dr. Tyna, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to doing this for a while now. To everybody listening, my name is Andy Hnilo. I'm the CEO and founder of Alitura Naturals, a skincare line that I launched with no intention of ever having a business. But on March 20th, 2011, I was crossing the street and got hit by a westbound heading vehicle, lost consciousness, got hit in the eastbound lane, and then was run over by a Toyota Tundra. Both cars pulled over, close cut off me in the middle of the street, and I got shuttled off to Cedars-Sinai ICU, where I woke up with my chin protruding through the bottom of my mouth right here, and 7 broken ribs, collapsed lung, no teeth. Very grateful and lucky to be alive. So I came back from that, finally after getting 2 titanium plates inserted, completely unrecognizable, but I just knew I had to go to work. I couldn't afford the creams and serums that the doctors were recommending that I use to counteract the scarring and abrasions that I had. But I had this pre-existing clay mask that I was doing every Sunday night. I was an actor at the time. And I think it was 3 clays, vitamin C, and kelp powder. I had it underneath my sink, right? And so I'd mix it up a little bit. This is back, I had this for years. I would do it every Sunday before a week of auditions. I was acting and modeling in LA. And I remember just running into my living room or my bathroom that I would share with a couple other roommates, and they just mix up the mask, go in my room, let it dry, go in there, shower. I had it under the sink. And who knows if they really knew what those combinations of clays and ingredients were. But yeah, so by that time I had my own place, so I didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, when I came back, I just felt like the combination of clays and the vitamin C and all the properties that I did my research and kind of made this little spa mask, spa from home clay mask that I do before my week of auditions. I mean, the brightening, the circulation created to the surface of the skin while subtly exfoliating. I mean, that was my just go-to routine every week that I'd never had the intention ever of selling it. I wanted to keep this to myself, obviously being a guy in skincare, ex-athlete, all that stuff. But so I had that. I went around town. I would do that every other day. But I went around town because I was trying to build my system back internally as well. Jaw wired shut, no teeth, right? So I went to Air One, met with Truth Calkin, Sage Dammers, went to George from Jing Herbs, George Lamoureux. I think they sold a bit. I'm not sure if they're still there. Ron Teagarden at Dragon Herbs, Crosby Ware. I met with so many different Chinese herbalists, just trying to figure out a recipe to help build my vitality back, like from the inside out, basically. Because I was just a zombie from the X-ray, monthly X-ray, CT scan, antibiotics that I was on. I was a zombie, man. I lost my zest. And so just that's a scary feeling to be in, especially when you're so go, and you're like just lacking the drive to just get up and out and just get at this time too, with your jaw wired shut and being banged up, 7 broken ribs and collapsed lung. But that's, yeah, I mean, I know I kind of threw a lot in right there, but yeah, that just kickstarted me what it towards now. It's crystal clear. This is right where I'm supposed to be. But yeah, that accident, I mean, just springboarded me right into my purpose, period.
So that's where the skincare line started with the clay mask.
Yeah. Yeah. So get this. So Christina Rodriguez is her name. She saw me in the ICU. She picked me up from the airport. No, I picked her up from the airport like 4 weeks later. And by that time, I've been doing my clay mask, had made this little concoction, which is now our night cream, ironically enough, out of a cast iron pan. I'll tell you about that later. But she was like, she did this like legitimate double take. And she's like, oh my, what have you done for your skin? And I was just like, well, it's the best. I needed that too, like that true double take, because I was, very banged up. I have some pictures I can send you, but so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Well, and so then I start talking and have no teeth or whatever with my jaw wired shut. But I was telling her that I had this like little clay mask that I was making and combining a lot of well, not a lot, but I did combine a lot, but only a few things worked. From the tonic that I was ingesting, I would take the pearl powder, the American ginseng, the colostrum. I mean, I tried a lot of things that did not work as well, but those did. So I feel like they helped regenerate my skin during that process where you're really creating a lot of microcirculation to the surface of the skin and then reintroducing a lot of minerals that we lose as we age that are just chock full in so many of these clays: iolite, pyrophyllite, Moroccan Rasul clay, kaolin, bentonite, obviously, French highlight. I mean, so I just became very fascinated with natural ingredients and their properties. I had nothing but time, didn't want to leave the house. So there's so much information out there available to all of us. And especially when you're creating something that may or may not have a benefit, obviously the curiosity is there to just try anything and everything. And the creative, it was a little bit of a creative outlet as well, because I was seeing results. I really was, very quickly. But I mean, all I did for about a year and a half was just go around town and share this, because it was like this green mask. I was going over to like friends of friends, people I didn't even know, just with this bamboo bowl, apple cider vinegar, lavender. I think I had sweet orange oil or something else, and talking way too much, explaining all the different ingredients. But that was good though. All I wanted was just a picture and this, maybe some feedback. I mean, in the back of my mind, I thought this could be maybe something down the road, because it had such profound results. And I know I have sensitive skin, and I was getting like this brightened complexion and just this like invigorating facial that I looked forward to every single time, because I knew I was getting, and I just felt that, and it was just cool and fun, that especially after being so down and out, that I had something, that I was doing, because I was banged up. And to be out of that, exciting industry as an actor and a model, and then going like, hey guys, not only am I working my way back to getting in that industry, but I'm creating this clay mask. And at that time too, I had a little paste of my night cream, but it was kind of a joke. But looking back, obviously that's where it all started.
That's how it got going, which is so great. I mean, that's the story of any great company, is, the passion that the founder and the inventor of whatever the product is. And when I met you, you were so passionate about it. And I had never, honest to God, have never been into skincare before. Like, I've been so lazy. I'm almost 50. I clearly need it. And I've just been slacking. And my best friend growing up, we're still best friends after 38 years. She's a big skincare gal. So she worked for Lancome all through high school and college. And it's always skincare. And then my mom is a hairstylist, and I grew up in a salon. So skincare was always really big. And I've always slacked on it. And I just remember meeting you at this event and you being so impassioned about the line. And then the next day you came over with your backpack, and you had all these little bottles in your backpack, and we all were sitting on the floor, and you started pulling them out, and there's all of these people in a circle, and we're all completely enthralled with what you're saying. And then we start smearing this stuff all over us. And I was sold. I remember you pulled out the gold serum, and I think it was like, day 3 in that hotel. And I hate sleeping in hotels because I have really sensitive skin too. And I have been getting glimmers of rosacea in the last few years, which my mom had really bad. So I've been trying so hard to hold it off. And when I stay in hotels, the the bleach, I think, in the sheets,
Yeah.
it really messes me up, and it messes up my skin. It makes me super itchy, and it makes my eyes puffy. And it's not, I should probably just bring my own pillowcases with me. But anyway, you pulled out the gold serum. I have bottles here. You pulled out the gold serum and I smeared it on, and I was like, oh my God, this feels good. Like it just felt so good, and it smelled good, and it was beautiful, and like the most beautiful color. And I was sold. And you left me with a bottle of moisturizer. You gifted me a bottle of moisturizer, which I was so excited about. And I went home and started using just that for months and months and months. And then most recently, the rosacea thing was just bugging the heck out of me, because I live out in the country, and during harvest season, we are in the Willamette Valley where I live. We are wine country, but we are also the world's grass seed capital. Like we are the grass seed capital of the world. So you can imagine the allergies that brings out in people. And I don't necessarily have hay fever, but mine presents as like prickly, itchy skin rash. And so it was springtime and the grasses were starting to grow. And sure enough, my rosacea, prickly skin, whatever was happening to my face again. And I was like, F this, I'm calling Andy. I don't ask for help very often. I really don't. I don't ask for help. That's probably one of my downfalls, but we're friends. And I was like, Andy, will you help me? And you sent me a bunch of stuff and I started using it religiously. And I'm just floored. Like I use it. I have there is a select group of products that I love, and I have dared to, I'm so scared to branch out, because I have found with natural products that are this natural, often the reaction to them can be kind of strong on my skin. It's been interesting. I've tried several other lines and it's almost too much. Like all the natural ingredients sort of set it off. And so anyway, I have not experienced that with Alitura at all. And I, like you, have been using the clay mask as like, I have this huge bathtub. My husband built this house himself years ago, and a huge bathtub. He's like 6'1", 6'2". So he built it so that he could lay down in it and not have to be, I mean, it's literally heavenly. It's like a swimming pool. And so I get in this giant bathtub once a week and I do my clay mask, and it's like a full spa experience. So I'm with you. I wanted to ask you though, can I go through some of my favorite products and get your tips on them and learn more about them?
Sure, absolutely.
Because I've been wanting to ask you, and I saw a video you did of kind of like how you dress up your clay mask. You have like a whole little recipe and ritual that you do. Can you share that first of all?
Oh, sure. So it is a little earthy. I understand apple cider vinegar and kelp powder, not the beautiful match made in heaven for scent and aroma. Some people like it. I actually kind of like it with water. You don't really need too much. Some people want to add some essential oils to counteract the earthy aroma. So I use ylang ylang, sea buckthorn, sweet blood orange oil or sweet orange oil. Clary sage is great, frankincense, myrrh. But also those have a lot of skin benefits as well. Can help calm and heal the skin, but also provide a little aromatherapy while you're letting the mask dry. Or lemongrass, pink grapefruit to kind of eat away at some of that acidity and earthy aroma. You can provide your favorite mixture of essential oils and then just, apply the mask in an upwards direction. Make sure it's nice and smooth and mixed in a non-metallic bowl. And then you just let it completely dry, and then you rinse it once it's completely dry, and then follow with the gold serum and or the moisturizer. And it's just, I do that now with the meteorite scrub. I don't have to do the clay mask as much, but I was doing that probably 3 or 4, sometimes 5 times a week, just because of the relaxing of that area right around the T-zone and that nasal area where you hold so much tension, and also congestion as well. It just opens up those stagnant capillaries and just really releases a lot of that tension, just looking and feeling more awake, as well as, especially if you use something like the derma roller beforehand, which is our little titanium microneedle derma roller, where you can basically microneedle out of the comfort of your own home, just light to medium pressure, opening up these tiny little pathways, effectively allowing for optimal absorption of the ingredients from the products that you're putting on top of it afterwards, because they're sinking in a little bit further, as well as creating these tiny little micro tears that signal to your brain to repair itself, effectively creating a thicker collagen layer. So that's a good device to use. Don't use the plastic ones, or I guess stainless steel is all right, but I mean, we're using titanium in ours. But that right there, cleanse, derma roll, clay masks, set it up as you'd like. There, I mean, there's nothing like it. It probably dries in about 20 minutes, but it's food grade. I do my best to formulate the products as close to nature with absolutely no chemicals or synthetic government recognized carcinogens as fillers and preservatives and fragrance. Man, no, we sent it with cold pressed organic essential oils that create this so much more of a long lasting, more beautiful aroma, in my opinion. And also you can feel confident knowing that it's not something that was synthetically made in a lab and it's going to be counterproductive and destroy your endocrine system and be, fragrance is the biggest culprit in that. And like you, when I go to hotels as well, when I travel, it's got to be the fragrance too, by the way, in those pillows. I get a headache from the laundry, the sheets, the towels. It's not
The starch. They put
bad.
so much starch in it.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah. So I could keep going on and on, but there's a way that you can get those benefits and the same things that people love with just, it takes a little bit longer, especially, if you're not working with a formulator. Well, I'm working with a chemist now, but I'm doing the formulations and figuring out different emulsions. You find benchmarks that you like with our Pearl cleanser. Found a nice emulsion that I liked and knew that I didn't want to use any harsh surfactants. So we're using colloidal silver, tremella mushroom that's loaded in hyaluronic acid, but colloidal silver to eat up that bacteria. I hadn't seen that used in the cleanser. Pearl powder to clean up the dirt and oil. And that's one of our most popular products as well. But I mean, basically what I'm saying is, you can get so much more from Mother Nature. And I'm learning that on my travels, just finding out the medicine and the different remedies in these smaller indigenous communities. Man, you can learn so much and get some exciting ingredients to put into future projects and creations. That's just what I love. I'm finding out that it's like a big part of what I absolutely love to do and a big part of my purpose. I say this because I'm doing a lot of traveling recently, but I'm doing it to clear my head. And in that clarity, I'm like, I meet people because I'm always by myself. And then they ask it's a common conversation. What do you do? Why? And then I just come alive when explaining what I do. And I truly am seeking their medicine and the different ingredients that a lot of people won't go to the lengths to find out about, just the medicine that helps so many different cultures and communities all around the world. I want to know about those and not the commonly. I want to go a different route with all of our formulations. And that's what we've done. But man, it feels so much better to blank canvas every single time. That's why it takes a little bit longer, because we want to be extremely different from the things that we're seeing on store shelves. And also when you launch a product, it's like an album release for Coldplay or U2,
Yeah.
so much went into that, ingredient by ingredient. So anyway, so we've had the chance to release a couple this year, which, I've been working on the meteorite scrub for seven years, but the formula was finally done in 2020. Then I tried to make this sugarcane tube because I didn't want to, and long story made short, we ended up putting it in a maroon glass jar. But so the formula has been done now for a while, but the design component plays a big part for us. We want a little visual variance in the line. And it takes a little bit longer when you just know what you want. But when you get it, it's the best feeling in the freaking world.
The scrub is so nice. I am not a big fan of scrubs because they usually set my skin off, and it's so nice. It smells so good and it's got a really lovely texture. How do you like to use it with that whole ritual you just mentioned? So you were saying cleanse, dermal roll, clay mask, moisturize, or gold serum, moisturize. Where does the scrub fit in? Is that like a couple days later in between?
So the whole idea, cleanse, exfoliate, hydrate, repair. So you exfoliate a few times a week, but just cleanse, hydrate, repair. Like if you're doing that daily, cleanse in the morning, moisturize throughout the day as needed, and then repair at night with like a night cream or something like that. It's the most important time because you're in one position for hours. So you really want to heal and hydrate that area while you're not really moving that much or getting sun exposure or anything like that, outside pollutants that are going to damage the skin. So that's the biggest part of it. But I love a good exfoliation at least a couple times a week. So the exfoliation part, but you also want to allow for a day or two in between. I say that just because it's the right thing to say and encourage. I don't want people getting in there and, scrubbing their faces and doing masks daily. I work
Yeah.
my way up to that. I have stuff to prepare for pretty much every day. And I mean, I really do mean this when I say the clay mask, like, especially when you rinse it off, when it's not completely dry, you're not getting that full, like harsh, like exfoliation. It has so many good properties of just the clarity it brings me. So I am doing it a little bit more often. And then but on my full on days, like what I'll do a couple times a week is I'll throw on a mask and I'll rinse off the mask towards the end with the meteorite scrub. And
Oh,
you
okay.
leave there levitating, man. I am not kidding. Your skin is just, especially if you do a derma roller before the clay mask like that. I
The
mean, you should do that.
trifecta.
You should do that once or twice a week. I mean, if you're into this stuff and you know what you're putting onto your face, just tell me how you feel and how you look. You're going to be very brightened post, but give it like 30, 45 minutes to let it come down. Just send me an email and let me know what you think, because I promise you it's better than any facial you've ever paid, 500 to 750 to 1,000 or more, with that unpredictable downtime of chemical peels, harsh laser treatments, microdermabrasion, like fillers. Oh my gosh, this just works. I mean, it's a back bar treatment in hundreds of med spas all around the world, and we have one sales rep, me. I wish we had more so we could get this in more people's hands, but I love the way things are going right now. But I'm telling you, the products we are creating are head and shoulders above anything else that I've tried, and I love trying competition. It's just not there, and I like that it's not there, because you have to truly find honest, like authentic results in
Right.
your compiling of a roster of ingredients, not predetermined ingredient decks and formulas that have been tested out. And now you just slap your logo on it. It's a white labeled product, like with a speck of your patented peptide. Like, where's the passion in that? Like, teach their own. If that's you, go ahead, get your money. But man, these are works of art, and it's like making a meal, man. I just want people to love it. I just want people to love it. It is so nerve wracking, releasing a product. But man, when you get that collective response of, wow, you're levitating for like years, dude. Like, I can't, it's just what I love to do. It's what I love to do. And it's, in my opinion, especially with creativity, and you really go to the lengths to stand out with having an effective product as well, and then covering all the components, the aroma, obviously emulsion and benefits, and having some spine tingling emulsion and aroma. But once you nail that and you start, it's just, man, it's what it's all about. You get like this hunger to do it again and again and again. But you can do it with everything. It just comes down to interest and energy to find and seek knowledge and create. This is exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Who would have thought, right? Because you were
Yeah.
that you skipped over that part so gracefully, that you were a model and an actor, and then you were in this horrific car accident, which would, end a lot of people's careers, but let alone being a model and an actor. Like, that's a pretty high caliber to get back to, or to have to come down from. You know what I mean? It's not like you're selling your face. That's your job. So I can see how you were impassioned to start with this. And it's true, though. It's alchemy. I mean, you're an alchemist. You're creating. I know this because we learned a lot of herbal medicine in naturopathic school. And when you're putting together tinctures for patients or different herbal remedies for patients, like, there's so much love and art and knowledge and just synergy and really intuition that goes into every formula, because you're doing it for that person right then. And I can imagine what it's like trying to accomplish that for a product that's going to be used by a ton of people. And like, how do you balance that out and get that straight? So I hear what you're saying. I just want to say really quick before I ask you another question about a different product, the Pearl Cleanser I love, and I'll tell you why. Because a few years ago discovered oil cleansers versus, soapy cleansers. And that was a real game changer for me. But a lot of them are heavy. And if you don't get them all the way off, you end up with acne or, blemishes and breakouts at the hairline. And some of them, you have to really, getting them off can be difficult. And when you have rosacea or sensitive skin, the rubbing itself is too much. So oil cleansers have been like hit or miss for me. This goes on almost with a similar consistency. Like I get the same lovely feeling that I get when I love rubbing oil on my face. Like it feels so good. So I get the same kind of reaction, but then it rinses off really easily and readily, which is awesome. So whatever you did with that emulsion is perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, I mean, the whole idea, like I went into this based on that, but it's true. A lot of painters, you got to clean oil-based paints with an oil, based surfactant. So, I mean, just cleaning oil and dirt off your face, it is helpful to have certain specific essential oils to help with that. And so, yeah, that was an added bonus, as well as, assisting in the aroma. Had to get some jasmine in there. But
it does smell lovely. It's a nice one. I like it. I like it. What about the gold serum? Tell me about that. Cause that's really unique and it's absolutely lovely.
Yeah, that's our most popular product. It's like the best from cutting edge anti-aging skin science with active ingredients, right? In like a 95% organic cold pressed botanical base. Rarely do you see both of those combined, we have a base, say, a beeswax, frankincense base with no water in that formula. We're using rose hydrosol as our base, but it doesn't have any water. And then we combine it with active ingredients like copper peptide, marine collagen, CoQ10, astaxanthin, and a plant-derived vitamin A, which we source from France. It's organic alfalfa derived that has similar benefits to retinol without all the harsh sun sensitivity and unpredictable downtime of shedding that initial layer the retinol is commonly known to give. So, I mean, that was just an added benefit, but it turned out to be, that's our best-selling product for sure. But it's because it has noticeable instant results. We got like this natural tint from the CoQ10. It's like this bright orange ingredient. So it'll give you a little color, but that was just a byproduct of one of the ingredients that we put in. So it has like a little tinting to it and that we like. But yeah, best from cutting edge anti-aging skin science combined with this organic botanical base, which, it's usually one or the other. So yeah, I'm very proud of that product.
That product I use on my hands. I use it on my chest. Like, I mean, I'm almost 50 and it's starting to show itself in certain areas. So I've been using that liberally and I love it. It smells lovely. And it really does. It feels like you said, it's like a noticeable sensation right away, which most skincare doesn't do. So that's astaxanthin. People don't realize astaxanthin is such an incredible, it's a fat soluble antioxidant. And I take it internally. It's a membrane stabilizer for mitochondria and it's a natural sunblock. So not to add more benefits to this and, make unfounded claims, but astaxanthin in of itself is a pretty miraculous ingredient. It's an expensive ingredient and not a lot of people know about it. Not a lot of people use it. But when I discovered it years ago, I was like, why isn't everybody taking astaxanthin and smearing it all over themselves?
I know. Yeah.
It's good stuff. And then my absolute favorite product is the night cream. Like this stuff it's thick and I thought it was going to make me break out, but it doesn't. It actually calms my skin down so nicely. It doubles for me as like an eye balm and a lip balm. It's got such a nice thick consistency. And then I rub what's left on the back of my hands, which is actually helping. But what's the story on that? How did that come to be?
Well, that was a big time passion project / product there. I mean, the original one was chunky and I lost it in my move, basically because that thing would have been 12, 13 years old and it was fine still. Manuka honey, cacao butter, sea buckthorn oil. I would melt this down in a cast iron pan and then follow with an application after using the clay mask. And so obviously I got it professionally formulated, but in that base of beeswax, Manuka honey, cacao butter, a little aloe, sea buckthorn oil. And then I started ordering plant-derived stem cells and then putting them in on the water side. I mean, that's when it got a little overwhelming to me. And luckily I found a manufacturer, but I had that knowledge in those, a long list of botanicals that I wanted to use in that formula. Yeah, what do we have? We have 2 different plant-derived stem cells, 10% vegan hyaluronic acid, first 4-hour milking grass-fed colostrum, Edelweiss and gardenia plant-derived stem cells. So like plant-derived stem cells have such an amazing ability, plants in general, an amazing ability to repair themselves. And so that really, especially with the gardenia Edelweiss stem cell, it just helps the skin heal and repair itself in the most important time when you're in one position for hours before bed. And the thickness part of it, like that was just because I knew going into it. I mean, I'm telling you, Tina, you can't tell now, but I was unrecognizable. A lot of gashes, a lot of scarring. So I didn't care that it was still there when I got up in the morning because I knew it was just healing that area. It just made sense to me theoretically that it was. I mean, so many night creams and eye gels, you put them on, they get absorbed, and it's like you wake up dry and you're like, well, I hope that speck of an active ingredient was actually doing something. So like when I wake up and I still have a little moisture there, I don't mind it because it just takes me back to those days of my recovery. And then also seriously, I just feel like it's been doing more work because it's still there. And that's why I made it so thick. But yeah, people love it. And seriously, you can mix a little with the gold serum and kind of add as a little pomade to your hair, little, for flyaways as well.
I
So
totally use it on my hair. I use it
yeah,
on everything. Like it is
why
so
wouldn't you?
multi-purpose. I don't need,
Yeah.
because it's so stupid when you get skincare lines. There's like, get this expensive little thing for your eyes, and then there's lip balm, and there's all these things. I just smear that stuff everywhere, and it smells lovely. I actually don't wash my face in the morning. I put the night cream on at night. I use just a little bit. I actually spray my face with the Angel's Mist, and then which I want to ask you about next. And then I do mix it with a little gold serum, and then I just pat it on, and then I just kind of rub that little bit in so I can use less because I've wetted my skin. And then I just use the rest on my lips and my eyes. And I wake up and my skin's good all day long. Like I don't wash it off at all. And I don't shower again until usually evening time. I work from home, so I shower at night. Anywho, the point being is I have really greasy skin. I've always had really greasy skin, like ever since I was a kid. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm usually just a grease bomb. And I don't wake up like that anymore. And yes, I'm getting older, so my skin's getting drier. But with the night cream, I don't wake up with a big old greasy face. It's whatever it's doing. It's balancing my oils is what I'm saying. I think it's balancing them nicely. So I'm not over drying. When you over dry, I think the rebound is the greasy face. So whatever's happening with that nighttime pearl cleanser, whatever ritual I'm doing, I wake up, I feel great. I might pat my face a little, but it's not shiny. I don't have to wear powder. I can get on camera. So it's kind of mattifying is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I love it. I'm a big
I
fan.
do the same thing, by the way, in the morning. I work from home. Unless I have something to prepare for, I'll just kind of continue, the ingredients. The body lotion, night cream can also double as a little bit of a lip balm. But I understand with what you're saying. There's so many different products, and that to me that creates a little customer confusion when a lot of them are so, multifaceted. You can use them for a lot of different things. I do the exact same. So I just thought that was interesting. But yeah,
and for travel too, because like you said, you can put it in your hair. You can use it like I put it in my husband's beard.
Nice.
I don't want to travel with 8 different bottles of things. So I make the night balm or the night cream multitask for me. Yeah. Tell me about the Angel's Mist, because you just released this, I think, more recently, this year at least. And wasn't it this year? Was it 20? Okay. And you sent me some just recently, and I just started using it, and never been a big toner girl, never anything like that, but it is really nice. And it does help me use less of the other products. Like I can, because of that moisture on there, I can, hydrolyze, I guess, the creams and the oils. So what's in there? I don't know anything about it.
So yeah, I didn't want to make a toner. I was just recommending hydrosol for years. And then talking to Dave Asprey, he mentioned that the delivery method of caffeine, organic alcohol, gluten-free alcohol, and niacinamide just really helps minimize pores, as well as helps the absorption of the floral extracts that we have in there. I have a lot of different essential oils that I got on my travels to Egypt, specifically cauliflower, Nile lily, myrrh, frankincense, blue lotus, little rose essence in there, little lemongrass as well. But it's like if I was going to make a toner, I wanted to make one that's different. And so I did. And I love the aroma. It refreshes mineral makeup. Like you said, can add a little spritz throughout the afternoon to your gold serum moisturizer and refresh that. It's nice out here in Arizona. That's another passion product. It's a toner. You're going to get, much better, in my opinion, effects than any other toner or hydrosol that I've used. It's different. It's got to be the niacinamide and caffeine, I'm thinking, but also the collection of different extracts that we have in there. But it's nice. It has a nice little fresh aroma, but just reminds me of my travels to Egypt. And I'm able to tie that into a product that really does, in my opinion, stand out from other toners. But that's a big passion project turned product for me. But
I love
yeah,
it. It does
thank you.
smell lovely. It's so fun to know. I didn't know what was in it. And I kind of been waiting for this interview to pick your brain, like I said, because I know there's so much that goes into each one of these. And
Oh yeah.
I thought I'll just wait till I talk to Andy.
Yeah.
So Andy, I got to ask you, you are so fit and you are so vital and healthy. Like you just beam sunshine. There's certain people when I meet them, they look like sunshine walking. And when I met you, I was like, I got to tell you the funny, because Kiki Cordero introduced us, right? And
Yeah.
you were sitting across from myself and Brandon Vermeyer, the holistic savage. You remember Brendan?
Oh yeah.
Little stocky guy. And I looked at him and I was like, this guy looks like Ken doll. Brendan and I had a good laugh. And then I was like, and you look like He-Man, Brendan.
Yeah, he
Because he's
does.
so buff and stocky,
Yeah.
strong man. And it was so fun to hang out with you guys that weekend. And anyway, I just could not get over. I mean, you kept disappearing and going off to the gym. So I have some idea that you stay in good shape. But how do you do this? You have such a great physique. And I gotta ask you, like, what's your routine? How do you do that? Is this
Oh,
naturally? I'm sure to some degree you've got some good genes, but like, tell me about the work you put in.
well, thank you, Tina. I appreciate you saying that, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? I would say probably 11 or 12 years old. I was so skinny. And so I was like, all right, found out about protein, fat, and calories. And then obviously the gym. So I started eating as much as I could. I'd have my mom make those Marie calendars, like berry cobblers with ice cream, and loading up, going to Burger King, trying to eat as much as I could, get those calories up. I went from, I think, 166 to 183 my senior year. But I was not addicted to the weight room. I became inspired through a man named Stu Peterson, who was one of the most prominent male figures, period, in my life. He was the next Major League Baseball player. I would babysit his now major leaguer son, Jock Peterson, in exchange for hitting lessons from him. But he instilled the importance of work ethic to a different level. Like I would go to practice and then finish and hit for 2 hours with him, and then go across the street to Stanford University and run stairs, and then work out, and then go home and record Baseball Tonight, and then do my little weird hand-eye coordinate. I'm telling you, Tina, I am obsessed. I could keep going on the things that I would do every single night for athletics. And just in that, and that's Major League Baseball player told me I had a chance. All right. So I'm just going to do what he said, because I didn't. And turns out, man, oh, he was right. And so anyway, that's good to have that in my back pocket for the rest of my life. But every Father's Day, I call my dad and definitely call Stu, because he had such an impact on me, man. And so so long story made short, like, yeah, I work very hard and I stay consistent with that. I think I'm talking over 3 decades of that. I'm about to be 42. And then I love how it makes me feel. I love music and working out. So I love how it makes me feel. It's not like, if people were to ask me my routine, it's like, I'm more about the sauna than I am working out. Like working out's fun, sure. I just kind of want to get that over with. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's fun when you got a little adrenaline going, or anger and want to relieve some stress, or you're happy and it's fun. But sometimes it's a little bit of a chore. Come on. But it is what it is. You got to power through it. But then once you get in the sauna, that's just like my relaxation, my dessert, my like unwinding. And then it usually leads to like a light jog to the car, because some little neurons got unlocked, and my creativity is just going in on ideas it's nonstop with me. But to answer your question, yeah, just staying active, definitely hitting the gym and breaking a sweat every day. Intermittent fasting, technically 16, 18 hours. The reason why I say technically is because I'm making like my chocolate drink in the morning. So I don't know if that throws me out my ketosis or whatever, but like I works for me. Staying hydrated throughout the day, definitely getting sunlight. Oh, the biggest thing is being sober from alcohol. For me though, I needed to get that out of my life, and I am so grateful that I did. That was, yeah, easily the toughest thing that I'm surprised that it was that tough towards the end. I got very lucky, and I am very grateful to be sober now, almost 10 months from alcohol. And
Nice.
so that helped.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you.
Okay, well, where can the audience find you? I know they get a discount when they use code Dr. Tina, and the
Yeah.
website, and where else can people find you? Where you want to go?
So it's Alitura, Alitura.com. Alitura. And I don't think I said this. It's Latin for feeding and nourishing. This will be
Oh,
your
that's
largest
lovely.
organ. Yeah, well, it was almost golden glow. By the way, two G's, both capitalized, no W, but it sounded like a bronzer. And I'm so glad we went Alitura. But yeah, Alitura at Alitura Naturals. We're on Instagram at Andy Hnilo. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. And I love talking about my little protocols. And if you have any questions, just please reach out to me. I'm happy to talk skincare, protocols, health, wellness, supplements, anything. So yeah, thank you for having me on and just giving me a chance to kind of share about something I really am pretty obsessed with. So
It's worth being obsessed over. When I first met you, you were obsessed over it. And I was like, what is this guy talking about? It's skincare, duh. And then I started using it. Like I said in that story, we all were smearing it on our faces. And I was like, oh, there's something here. So you're excited for a reason, because it is really lovely product, and it's made a huge difference in my skin. I didn't mention that part. Like, it's made a huge difference in my skin, and my rosacea is under control. And I got through the harvest season without any severe issues. I mean, last summer and the summer before, I was having to cancel podcasts and cancel things because my skin would just freak out on me, and like this really kind of prickly heat rash kind of uncomfortable way. And that didn't happen this summer. So, hey, I'm going to chalk it up to the skincare line.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we got you
Yeah.
covered. I'm glad. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you didn't have to go through that.
Yes, thank you. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Dr. Tina Show, Andy. And I just adore you. You guys go check it out. Use code Dr. Tina at checkout, and you'll get a discount on your first order. And we'll have you back on, Andy. We'll have to see how life is in a while. We'll have to come back and circle back on it.
I'd love that.
Okay, cool.
All right. See you.